Hey guys, Kamani's name, and today Majora's Mask 3D is the game. In the last episode, we got here to I almost said Snowwood, Snowhead Temple, excuse me, I nearly said Snowfall Temple. Well, that's pretty much the main thing that we did. And in this episode, we're gonna actually be taking on the second dungeon of the game. Kind of excited, but mostly kind of nervous, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Right off the bat, just kill the white bow, and head on forward. Shockingly, I would say surprise, this is actually not a door. This is a block that we get to push in, so I guess just go ahead and push that in. And first real enemy, White Wolfos, go ahead and punch you out. Another thing you can do is you can also curl and wait till it approaches, and then pound into the ground to take it out alternatively. That is probably the faster, but probably harder to time way to take it out. That being said, we can only go through this door right here, so let's do it. Real life things to talk about. Well, I went to a symphony yesterday. I went to my local big city's symphony, and it was a lot less formal than I was expecting. It was honestly very, very, very casual, but I kind of liked the fact that it was so casual. I don't know, it was really cute. There was like a sing-along portion, and Santa came out at one portion, and so did Rudolph, and it was nice. It was very silly and not as serious as I expected, but I mean, hey, I can't complain. I did not have to pay for my tickets. They were graciously given to me by my girlfriend's father, who got them from his boss. So yeah, I didn't have to pay for it, so it's very nice. And it was a good time, and I caught up with a couple of my other friends, and yeah, had a really good time. Okay, let's go ahead and take off the Great Fairy Mask, because that is unnecessary. Okay, so those are the first two stray fairies right there. Secondly, I believe all we need to do is go ahead and charge on up. Right over here, if you look, we're on the snow right now, meaning that we can charge up a roll without speeding off too quickly, and you're gonna need to do that. Do watch out for the freezers that are on the side. If you walk through them, that cold blast of air will freeze you, but if you roll through it, you'll be just fine. And that's the difference in the Nintendo 64 version. If you'd rolled on through while they were blowing that cold air at you, you would have been frozen midair, and that's not a very good thing. Alright, sorry about that. So I did practice this dungeon way earlier today, but I'm kind of forgetting things as I'm doing it. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something, so hopefully I don't. Stray Fairy number 3 right there, very easy to get. There's not a whole lot we can do in this room right here. Let's go ahead and transform back into Hylian Link. Right up here, Real Bomb Shoe. I believe we've seen these from afar, but we haven't really encountered them up close. Defeat them simply by bunking into them with your shield, and you won't take any damage. Not much of an enemy at all. Let's not transform over and over again. Let's go ahead and just punch out these blocks. It will drop a lot of rupees for whatever reason. Not entirely sure why, but hey, there's 28 rupees. Well, we got 25 from right there, right off the bat. Now, right up here, you can choose to take, this is a freezer, you can take care of it by shooting with arrows, I believe, or you can wait until it will shoot icy air at us. Rush forward and give it a bonk or a punch. Okay, a punch, excuse me. Nope, I can't do this. There you go. And then get the treasure chest. And with that, you get the dungeon map. And I've already gone on about how much I love the dungeon maps in this remake. They are very, very, very helpful and pretty complex, and I greatly appreciate them. That being said, nothing else we can do in this room, really, right now, so I guess we'll just go back to where we came from. Other real-life things that have happened? Well, that are happening, I guess, Christmas is coming up, that's really cool. And also, on that note, New Year's as well is coming up, I suppose, which... Ooh, do I want to start the can of worms that is reflecting on the year 2018, or do I want to save that for a later episode? Let's save that for a little later episode when we get closer to the actual new year. And you can see that this dungeon is no joke compared to Woodfall. This one is going to be a lot more difficult for us than what we had previously faced, but that's okay. You gotta step up eventually. As long as you want to go through the next dungeon that I keep talking about, the third dungeon of the game, as long as we don't have to go through that today, I'm quite alright. Let's go ahead and go through this gold door right here. I believe yes. And what we're gonna want to do is go ahead and pull these blocks on out. When you do, go look behind, and there will have been hidden a chest with a small key. Great, that'll be very useful later. And also, before you head out of this room, you might think you have everything that you need false, what you actually want to do is go ahead and pull these blocks on out, and we're going to push them to the far side. This is going to be very useful when we come into this room later. Trust me, you want to do this right now. That is if you want to 100% it. By the way, there are, same with Woodfall, stray fairy differences and their locations. I'm not going to address those. I'm going to try to address them if I remember them, but I'm not going to go out of my way to put it up on screen and whatnot, because there's just so many differences. And the further I get into this game, the more and more I realize like how many small differences there are between the original game and the remake. It's really, there's a lot of really small changes, and the fact that they went into detail to make so many small changes is really interesting. Most changes I think just lower the difficulty, and I'm not a really big fan of, but yeah. Oh well, it's okay. The trade-off is higher quality and arguably, I could say a better experience playing the game, but a much different experience playing the game. What we want to do is go ahead and get out our arrows and shoot through the fire. We don't have fire arrows yet, but hey, we make do. And I look like a liar. Let's go ahead and try that again. There you go. And by doing that, this will actually create a shortcut for us. It'll make our lives a lot easier. Here we are back in the original room that we came in. We're actually just going to go ahead and ignore this whole post. Now that we have the small key, we can go ahead and go through this door. And once again, we're in a room where we can't quite do everything that we need to do. There's going to be a fair bit of backtracking in this dungeon. I would say a lot, but there's been a lot of backtracking in previous Zelda games, so this is nothing. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up this treasure chest, because it's just begging to be opened, being here in the middle of the room. You got the compass. And now we can go ahead and see not only where treasure chests are, but also the stray fairies that we have obtained, which I don't know if you actually need a compass for that or not. That could be a total lie. Really quick, what you're going to want to do is come right over here, maybe slash some pottery for some bombs or whatnot. You can find magic anywhere, which is great, being that we're going to be using quite a bit of magic in this dungeon. Let's go ahead and drop a bomb right here and run away and not get blown up. Okay, well that's quite alright. What you also want to do is if you look right up here, you're going to see a crate just sitting on top of that pillar. It's kind of random if you ask me. We're going to want to go ahead and blow it up with a bomb. You have two options. You can either throw it from afar and time it well to where you throw it as soon as it explodes right in midair, or you can do it the unsafe way, but, well, the easier way. If you just hold it right above your head, right next to the pillar, when it explodes, it'll do the job and it'll blow the crate right up there just barely, and if you heard that noise, you will know that there is a stray fairy for us to collect. Go ahead and put on that great fairy mask. And there you go, stray fairy number 4. Let's see, now that I'm in here, what else do I want to do? I feel like there's something that I'm missing. Okay, nope, nothing else we gotta do in this room. We're just gonna go ahead and open up, we'll go through this pathway that we opened up, right up the stairs. You will need arrows, so if you don't have any, just slash some nearby pottery, you can find it there. Tata will quickly let us know if there's something she wants to tell us, or at least I thought she did. Yep, there you go. What? It's an icicle, just like the one we saw outside. And if you remember what we did to that one, we roughed him up pretty well by shooting, not turning into a Goron, because we didn't have that ability yet. We instead shot him with arrows, which we cannot do in the Goron form. We shot him with arrows. Yeah, there you go. Which, by the way, I'm going to be quiet for a moment just so you guys can hear the music, because it's really interesting. And as the adjective I use a lot with music in this game, off-putting. So I'm just gonna be quiet for a second so you guys can take it in the atmosphere. Yeah, so you get it. It's just interesting, to say the least. But you don't have to take down all the icicles, but if you do that, you will get these red rupees that are around, and if you remember, those are worth a whole 20 rupees, and I like jumping across these pillars because we, once again, you can see Link's amazing acrobatics. By the way, okay, I keep pressing Y to use my bow and arrow, but it's not going well for me. You can also go ahead and shoot down these ice pillars as well if you don't want to risk them dealing you any damage, or just be mindful that they're there and not waste your arrows on them. It's totally up to you. which I'm not really hesitant to save a lot of my like bombs and arrows in this game because you find stuff everywhere. But this looks really fishy. If you look, this wall looks rather different than anything else, and there's also, it looks like some snow that's drifting down from the bottom. If you put on your lens of truth, you will see that there is actually a pathway through there. Go ahead and jump on across and open up the treasure chest. There you go, Stray Fairy number 5. We're making great progress, actually. That being said, let's go ahead and grab the rest of these rupees because I had to spend a lot of rupees on the minigame. Actually, that's the thing I never mentioned. You might notice a small difference in the rupee count for my bank back in Clocktown. That is because, if you guys remember the last episode, I had a saving error with things and I had to go back and replay the minigame off camera. Well, let's just say I wasn't quite as lucky with my replay as I was on camera, which I thought I was unlucky having to play the game twice, but off camera I had to play the game like 5 times in order to get the prize, so I spent a lot of rupees on that minigame. So I definitely don't mind picking up some extra rupees in dungeons, making me kind of make up for losses, but that being said, we got another small key. And now we're going to go ahead and drop on down. There's nothing else we can get in this room, and just go ahead and open up this door right here. Other things that I did today, I got lunch with my granddad. That was a lot of fun. I also played Breath of the Wild with my girlfriend. That's our new thing that we've been doing recently. It's a lot of fun. She was never really into Zelda. I mean, she had played Twilight Princess before, but it didn't really, I guess, appeal to her. I don't know. I think she just said that when she played the game, it made her eyes hurt, and she also just got lost everywhere. And I don't know. She just didn't really. It wasn't her cup of tea, I suppose. But we were playing Breath of the Wild, and she's really enjoying it. And so it's a lot of fun. She's getting a lot better at it as well. What, you think you just push down something by just standing on top of it? Well, I mean, as heavy as a Goron we are, I hope so. I mean, young Link can just sit on stuff, and I say young Link because I've been playing Smash Brothers recently, and I think Majora's Mask Link is young Link now rather than just Link. You're going to have to find some way to pound it down. Okay, well, fair enough. Gotta go ahead and curl on up, press B. And this is a little bit of a puzzle. You can't just pound them in any way you want to. There's a certain way you gotta pound these guys in. So once you pound in this one right here, you're gonna wanna go ahead and transform back into Hylian, jump on across. I'm gonna go hit this switch right over here, but first I'm gonna break these crates. Oh, which you can technically break these crates with bombs rather than turning into Goron Link, but what's the fun of that when you can just save your bombs, you know? Let's come right over here and punch in this one. And the next step is to be very quick. What we're gonna wanna do is come on right over here, pound in this one, and that will drop the one right by the door. We're gonna go ahead and, transform back in, climb on up with Hylian Link, and quickly jump across. There you go. I was gonna run out of time right there. I didn't think I was gonna get that quite as quickly as I wanted to. See, have I missed anything yet? Oh, I did miss something, actually. I'm really glad I decided to check. I have a list of notes that I created for myself because I was afraid I was gonna forget something, and I did. Put on the Lens of Truth, look on up, and you'll see there's actually a crater in the ceiling, which you can kind of tell by the snow that's falling on down. Go ahead and shoot down that Stray Fairy, and you know the drill. Let's go ahead and first of all take out the Lens of Truth because I really hate wasting my magic. I mean, because you get the magic upgrade so early in the 3D version of the game, I'm not used to having this much magic, and I feel really bad just having the Lens of Truth on, even though, like, I have plenty of magic, but I just feel really bad like, wasting unnecessary magic, even though it's very plentiful throughout this entire temple. I mean, you slash any pot in here, you're gonna find magic, and bound to be in almost every single one of them. But that being said, now we got Stray Fairy number 6, I believe that was. Now all we have to do is transform into Goron Link. And if you can tell, this path right here is icy, which I really like the close-up we got right there of Link's face right before he ground pounded. Although we didn't get it right there, now we're just getting his backside. Okay, well, that's fine. All right, curl on up. And this is ice, so we can get a little bit of a running start. And there you go. Now we can't quite get into here yet. Your fire punch won't do anything. You can try to curl and pound on in as you might. Not gonna do anything. Now, if you look right over here, the only way for us to get across here is to roll here on the side, because if you try to climb with Link, he'll just slide off into, I'm gonna call this a little wooden crate down below. So what we have to do, crawl on up, and we'll not do that over the ice actually, because then that's not good. Just need to do just like this. But if you fall, you will fall in the wooden crate. You'll be just fine. Climb the ladder, come on over. Everything will be just fine and dandy. But now, if I'm correct, we are going to, yep, go on this way. My memory's correct. Hopefully so, because I'm going completely off of memory right here. Yes, we have our first mini-boss of the dungeon. Wizrobe. Which I can't remember if this is the first time we've seen him in this game or not. It feels like it isn't, but maybe that's just because I played it earlier. So, facing Wizrobe. Not really all that difficult. There's, well, first of all, okay, I actually did that pretty well. I was surprised. I thought I was gonna get attacked right there. I'm gonna give him a chance to attack so you can see what his attack is. Basically, after you'll spin around for a little while, he'll throw ice at you. If that hits you, or if you run into that afterwards, you will freeze and take half a heart of damage. So, not that bad, but something you want to avoid if you haven't gotten a whole lot of heart containers or pieces of heart so far in this game like I have. I've gotten quite a bit, so I have plenty of health, but if you don't, this could actually be a difficult fight for you. The easier strategy is to stand from afar and shoot with arrows, but sadly this takes a little bit longer, and also you have to use your arrows, but it is safer. So if you find yourself struggling with this battle, by all means, let that be your dominant let that be your strategy. But what you can also do is just roll on up and not get hit with ice because you suck at timing. Roll on up and then pound on in. I did not do that correctly because I pressed A. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There you go, that's what you want to do. If you've done that correctly, you shouldn't have any problems at all. But, like I said, if you time that correctly, now once you deal enough damage, you'll get onto the second phase of the battle, which is no different than the first, except now there are holograms. Doesn't make things all that difficult at all, actually. Also, another thing is make sure you're close enough before you do the go on pound, because if you're not, then you're not actually going to deal the damage. Like that. But I actually somehow didn't have to get hit or deal with the consequences, so I'm not going to complain. There you go. And one more hit should do it. It's not easy, I mean, not hard at all to see which one's the actual real deal, because one's a lot more transparent than the other. Okay. I was talking about how it's not hard to tell which one's the real deal when I actually got tricked by one of the holograms. Alright. There you go. I keep making it a goal for that whenever I know a treasure chest is going to appear, to go into the middle of the room so I can have it appear under me, because that's always a funny animation to me to watch. But I keep forgetting until it's too late. And you get the fire arrow, and why does Goron Link make such a shook expression every time where he gets something out of a treasure chest? I love it. Well, not a single fire arrow, but fire arrows. A direct hit will put the heat on your target. Aim wisely to set objects aflame and melt ice. Well, that's gonna be very useful, because if there's one thing we encounter a lot in this dungeon, it is ice. Nothing else we can really do in this room. Let's go ahead and exit. But as I mentioned earlier, because I called Majora's Mask Link Young Link, or just Hylian Link Young Link, I've been playing a lot of Majora's Mask. I mean, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Majora's Mask too, but I've been playing a lot of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate recently, and that has been a lot of fun. Sorry about that, I was actually forgetting about what I need to do. Once you exit the mini-boss room, you actually just want to go ahead and drop on down to the lower level. If you roll, you won't have any damage dealt to you, so that's the best way to drop on down. Right here. These are called, fire bubbles, I believe, or red bubbles? Red bubbles is, I believe, what they're called. If it's not red bubbles, I will correct myself on screen right now, but I'll just go ahead and avoid them. I mean, you can kill them should you choose, but honestly, I really wouldn't. I mean, not a big deal. Right over here, if you decide to hit that pot right there, you'll be able to grab yourself a fairy. I recommend you do so, at least if you don't have a lot of heart containers. So, there you go. Hopefully, I won't have to use that. If I do, I will be very shocked and disappointed in myself. That being said, what we're gonna wanna look for is right over here, the switch. Oh, goodness, that was not fun. Somehow a flaming skull deals this damage, but sitting in lava does not. I mean, I get that Gorons are supposed to have some sort of heat resistance, but, I mean, in the end, aren't they rocks? So why aren't they melting in melted rock? It's a great question. Anyways, open that treasure chest right there for Stray Fairy number 7. And I guess we can go ahead and punch in this grass over here for some magic and some rupees. Let's see, now what am I missing? I believe we want to go ahead and go on this way. I can't control the game. No, I don't think this is where I wanted to go. Excuse me, what we want to do is go ahead and climb the stairs right over here. And this will put us in a familiar place. I'm sure you remember this area right here. Now, we have 2 frozen doors in front of us. Both are green, indicating that they will take us to the same room, and indeed they will. Let's go ahead and actually use the fire arrows for the first time. What you do is just go ahead and equip it like you would any other item. And bada bing, bada boom, we have fire. The only thing about it is, though, is that it does use magic, and I'll tell you this right now so you can keep an eye on the magic meter, which actually, if you look very closely, you can see yellow. There's like the little yellow portion at the very end of the magic bar. That's how much magic will be used by this singular fire arrow. So it's not that much. I mean, and I think I can kind of understand the reason why the developers decided to make you get the magic upgrade so early in the game, because it makes this dungeon a lot easier with the fact that there's just magic everywhere and you don't have to worry about, you know, constantly like limiting your fire arrow use and rolling around as Goron Link. I mean, I get it, but there's just so much magic already around this dungeon. Like, I don't see why that was a necessary change, but hey, that's just me. I mean, like I said, magic everywhere. Arrows too, apparently. But speaking of fire arrows, now that we have that ability, you'll find some freezers like we saw earlier. You can attack them normally like we did by just punching them with Goron Link, or you can do it the easier way and the safer way. Let's go ahead and launch a fire arrow into them, and that means to them instant death. And that'll open up that treasure chest for us right over there. Not sure why I'm switching to Goron Link. He cannot do jumps. Or he definitely can't do jumps as great as Link can, which, oh, here I am talking about how great of jumps Link does, which actually, good. I'm kind of glad that I fell down here, because it'll give you the opportunity to show you what you should do should you fall down here, which, by the way, again, magic just absolutely everywhere. Should you fall down here, use your fire arrows, go ahead, thaw out that deku flower right there, which actually might recognize this room. I went into it briefly earlier when I was confused. Sadly, Goron Link cannot go into deku flowers. Go ahead and set equipped the deku mask. Blast on up, which I believe it's this way? Yep. Over to the deku flower. And then go on up. So, other things that are occurring in my life. MAGFest is coming up very soon. Really excited about that. Very, very excited about that. I'm looking forward to vlogging that, definitely. Because vlogging is something that I don't really do on my channel, but it was really, really fun. And makes me kind of want to wish I did it more. So I'm looking forward to that aspect. But I guess just overall, just seeing everyone again. It's been forever since I've seen Grant. And sadly, Josh is not going to, my friend Josh won't be able to come to MAGFest this time around. But I guess I'm also looking forward to seeing, meeting my friend Nick in person for the first time. That's gonna be a lot of fun. He's been a good friend of mine for many years, so yeah, it's gonna be a great experience. Very much looking forward to it. Also looking forward to just all the merchandise. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Why do I keep doing that? Actually, this is a good time to say that the bunny hood is very useful for making good leaps. With the bunny hood, when you put it on, you will get a running start, a faster running start than you would if you were just regular Link. So some of these jumps can only be made, I guess that one right there, it probably could be made by a Hylian Link without the bunny hood, but it's a lot easier if you use the bunny hood, so I recommend you do so. But also be mindful using the bunny hood if you need to make a shorter jump rather than make a really big jump, because sometimes you can overshoot. So let's go ahead and put on the bunny hood right now before I forget. Which, by the way, I guess this is a good time to say that I highly recommend you make sure you have the Song of Inverted Time set, because if not, you probably are running out of time. Let's go ahead and get this treasure chest that I unlocked ages ago, but that I haven't opened yet. Alright, Stray Fairy number 8. And is there anything else I need to get in this room? I want to say no. No? Okay, nothing else I have to get in this room. But now that that door right over there has been opened, now that we've lit all the torches, we'll be able to go on through. Which, quick little tip, if you want to, instead of shooting all the torches with fire arrows, you can alternatively, if you're short on magic, shoot one and then use the deku stick to light the others. But again, there's magic everywhere, and if you're playing the 3DS version, you already had the magic upgrade, so why would you be running out of magic? But I guess that option is there for you should you need it. But that being said, Link's weight alone is not enough to push in the switch, nor will the weight of Goron Link be enough. So, go ahead and give it that Goron pound. Central chamber puzzles is what I was trying to say in Zelda dungeons. Don't you love them? As confusing as they can be. Well, yeah, well, we have one of those on our hands, so that being said, I think this is a good stopping point, mostly because I'm getting close to 30 minutes. Not really a good stopping point, but I have to stopping point. Next time, let's play Majora's Mask. We are going to maybe get all the way up to the boss, being that we made a lot of progress so far, so yeah, we'll see. I've been Cameron. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye, guys.